Learn how to abuse the sinkhole. That is ridiculous, though, from Iceberg.
Really nice. The nade isn't far enough back for FaZe to actually fully break the smoke, so there's a slight angle over the top where Iceberg will add to the tally. Espionage, a 5 versus 3 situation. Instrumental that they can convert from this position, and they're pretty smart about it. 3 players walking down lower. Lucky splits off from the rest of the pack, as will Mister walking out main. This is when they can leave themselves short strung, Ryan, and that first player has hit the deck.
4 on 3. Problem is Espionage a little bit split up right now. Quez is on the upper side of the map, but as the lurk he activates, Jo dropped. Bomb heard being planted towards B. Caseza might just get read into here, and Quez has played this one to a T. Watts 1v4. Espionage in round number 8 will finally take their second.
I mean, there is definitely a world in which Quez cannot take the first fight and we go even, but he does a brilliant job, like you say. That will be enough for Espionage. They already had the initial picks. The impetus was on Xsync to recover the round, and Waltz nearly puts himself in a position to get the next kill. I don't think the final onto Lucky would be anything but a certainty, because Espionage were hot under the collar of Xsync, and already you can see that this purchase that they get back through is going to be few and far between. We got a big green, a couple M4s, but I'm seeing a couple nasty bits of work in the middle.
Round 9, chance for things to change, but Caseza again aggressive towards lobby. Face just synonymous with this AWP, it feels like, in the last couple of rounds. Really in tune with how Espionage are playing. Iceberg's down B, but that's not going to last long under Eku's watch. And just like that, it is round over.
Another 5 versus 3, yet this time Xsync get off on the right foot. This is the debut of Lucky's AWP on the T side for Espionage. It's not too often that they run that aggressive AWP style. I remember we were watching them play Overpass the other day. Instead, it was just a full set of AKs. Haven't really found too many ways to factor it into the game plan. It was Analele, historically, that would take up that mantle for them. This time, can't do anything but call it quits. So that is a 7th for Xsync. And the fact, the biggest fact for me, that all 5 players are going to survive it to tell the tale. Jo may even be lucky enough to find a rifle here somewhere for himself. Means that you've reinforced that struggling economy pretty much as soon as it was required of you to do so.
Very patient, 20 seconds left of this round. Espionage do not want to test either side of the map, and understandably so. They are in no position to challenge Xsync with the rifles that they have compared to the 5. Just the sheer quantity of players on Xsync is enough to be a deterrent. Round will clock in at 7-2. 5 to the good this CT side. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And I mean,
as we're coming into the, 100%. I was just about to say, as we come into this third round, Ryan, I do want to capture your thoughts real quick. Where exactly is your head at in terms of prime contenders to be making main Swiss? When you look at the names that we've got in the competition at the moment, and the ones that you expect to maybe even make a deeper run beyond this point, who's cropping to mind? Because may have to wait a moment longer, actually. Espionage are going so quick off the rip. They take A, and it is unbelievably good.
Super effective rush. Change of pace, catching Xsync off guard. I think they're throwing a lot less utility to counter these A rushes, and a good pickup for Espionage, because they just dive into the site, say no thank you, and will escape. To answer your question, because I think Xsync will look to save now.
Yeah.
I don't know, really. It's a difficult one to ask. I think when you look at the team names, I mean, Bleed just had a completely insane run at the RES European event, the one that's just finished. Endpoint, obviously, with HS and Switcher on their team. They're obviously the other two Estonians in Tier 2. Not to mention, of course, you've got the X-Sync boys, which makes the 7 that we have in this event. Zero Tenacity have had points where they've peaked. Obviously, Metisport haven't just beat Falcons. Permitter have been playing okay. Obviously, this event maybe not so much. So, if I'm honest with you, I think there is room in which an Espionage and an X-Sync can slip in. But of course, playing each other in the one-on-one stage, just to loop it back to this BO3, means that one of these teams are going to move 1 and 2, and then is a requirement will have to win the next 2 to make the main Swiss.
Yeah, and honestly, if Espionage don't win this game, I'm not sure how confident I feel that they can turn things around. Like, sure, they have the names, but again, when that form isn't working out for you, it just does feel difficult to find liftoff. They have on this map now, it's 3 rounds that they've picked up already. You'd be wanting to see at least one more from them from this position for us to give too much accreditation.
If you want to talk about map bias, this is the most, it is in fact the most biased CT map, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously, to be expected, well, at least in last 3 months, I should say, Nuke is, it's now the second most biased after Overpass.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we had this one before, right? In Vetoes, where Espionage were allowed to play Overpass and Anubis. That will be our second map. That is a guarantee, and being the most T-sided map, it makes all the difference, but they wish they were in that kind of position now, because X-Sync have shut them out again, and Lucky's given us another 45 seconds to, paint the picture at large, because in terms of the finer details, it is not happening for Espionage.
It's another rush round where they just get caught out completely. And, I mean, there's only one individual you can point out here, right? Cesar, fantastic job. 4 in the round. He's now 11 and 3. And you know, the reason why I had to ask his name is I personally have never seen him before. Never seen Cesar play as a individual. Obviously, he's been on this X-Sync roster for a little while now, and even been on Sync since November 2023. So he's been a part of this team for the good part of a few months now. And first time I get to watch him. 21 years old from Estonia, averaging a 0.97 on HLTV in the last 3 months, which, you know, by and large, we say 1.0 is like the average, or just above that is the average. So the fact that this guy's come in absolutely swinging, and especially in a game as important as this one, when Espionage have been playing quite poorly in the past few, yeah, fair enough. If there's ever a time to pop off and make a name for yourself, it would be very much now.
I mean, when you actually think about the furnishings of this X-Sync roster, it has all the components for success. You have Eku, Watts, Fates, all been there since the start. It's that established core, those partnerships that you build. You bring in a player like Jao with the experience that he'll have playing on multiple different rosters. And, you know, one of the first times we've really seen him in a full Estonian side, mixing on a few Eastern European squads. And yeah, a young gun like Cesar to come in and give you a little bit of extra firepower, which we're already seeing. So, 12 rounds played, 3 players already inside double digits. Now it's Espionage's turn to chip one back, going against the grain. Out through main. Here is Quez at the double on the Mac-10, and usually that spells success, but X-Sync are not going to give this one up without a fight. The bomb doesn't go down just yet. Still a 3 versus 2. Watts looking for a chance to make his reprisal. Quez entirely overlooked and just allowed to spray back at him. The bullets don't hit. It's a whole lot of lead in his direction. Fates has taken the time to reposition around the world and go 2 for 2 in this position. Can Quez get an ace? He can!
What a shot from Quez to end it out. 4-8 Espionage, I would argue, with the absolute bare minimum. A pistol required probably as well to even give them half a chance in this game. Fantastic round from Quez. The A push yet again is lackluster in defense. Fantastic round though from one individual, and that is exactly what the doctor ordered. X-Sync put in their place in the final round of our first half. But as I said, a pistol could definitely crack all of that back open and put X-Sync within arm's reach of taking the cake here on Espionage's pick, but the favoured side for the Danes up next.
That it will be. Favoured map, favoured pick. Espionage and Nuke, CT side, go together like strawberries and cream on a sunny day. It's a match made in heaven. Gets off to a fairly hellish start. Finally, Cabby and Quez involved. Mr. 2 of his own. Only Watts remains, and the only player who's found any kills in this round.
Already low. No chance for him to get up door. It's shut in his face. I mean, where does he even go from this spot? You've got 1 minute and 5. There's no point just saving, but you feel useless when you know the odds are stacked this much against you.
The only player that will be recording any kills in the pistol round for X-Sync. 7 points of health. A bullet pretty much anywhere would do it. Quez is tucked in the corner. And right now, Watts is just looking for the right pathing to open up any kind of a chance. He'll jump from the toxic barrels. I think the timing's a little off here, though. We should see Cabby in position. Not sure if he's going to be checking for this. He does, and that's enough to find a fifth.
I'd love to see it from Cabby's POV, because I don't think he ever expected him to be close there. I think that was out of just sheer panic that he was up close and personal. Shot from Quez. Oh, come on, man. Get off it. He's just running. He's just running. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
he's looking
Cabby,
deep
he's
outside.
looking for the outside play, for sure.
And, ooh, there's a guy in front of me,
look,
you know?
I mean, this is crazy, right? Because they get 4 rounds, suddenly you have a pistol, and you're back within 3 and more than in your means to do it. You get this strong start to the second half was fairly imperative here for X-Sync, and they have forced that idea, that notion.
Smokes towards outside. It's interesting that X-Sync take the option to force here rather than eco. A lot of teams will just dip out of an idea of an investment completely when you don't get the bomb plant.
Not very often that we see that happen, like you mentioned. I mean, what do we get? 2 Tech 9s, Mac 10, couple Deegs. Watts already down on 15 HP. Starting to feel like it was last round for him. And oh, this XM is going to be horrendous to try and fight on those pistols. Mister is pumping out damage, and Iceberg, it's not been the strongest of showings from him so far. And oh my god, you can see why.
Oh, auto shotgun of Mister finds 2. Heads rolling in Hut. Eku, Jo. Switch of the guns. Give the higher HP man the better weapon, but at the end of the day, I feel like it doesn't matter what maths you do, it's never going to equal whatever Espionage have.
It's a shame they don't have the bomb, because if you did, there's an option maybe for a plan. Look at a way back in for another force, but I don't really know, man. It's a tough round to take, and to be honest, I hate to say it, but Iceberg there, you know when a player is low on confidence and sometimes things just don't go your way. They don't go your way, and that's what we saw with Eku finding 1, but yeah, the XM have missed again, like I say, so hard to beat when you're on pistols. Like, the last thing you want to be facing is a shotgun. So they're ever as mobile as you are.
Yeah. Don't know about that. Belico, nade, scores. 50 health done to Eku. Chip damage to Jo and Fate, rendering that half armor even more useless by the second. Cesar tagged and taken, but also Cabby put in a bag as Eku's Deagle just rings around outside.
It's a nasty one to take. We'll have to see if it falls on deaf ears here or if there is more to be collected. Joe's sort of baiting for that peak to come through. Watts simply walks out ramp and wins this fight. It's now thinking about taking this one a step further. Is there a gun for me here? Jo has won the duel outside onto the main player. It's taken another one onto Mr. as well, and it's only Lucky remaining. Watts probably doesn't want to overplay the hand here and look for that rifle, just simply sit ramp and allow himself to be a conduit for the rest of the team to bring this bomb, which will take a while to arrive, but as it does, I don't think Lucky will be attempting this one, but hey, first kill maybe changes that.
Found through the smoke, trying to deny the plant. This time Jo makes it in a more sensible place. Lucky wants to go bursting through, and well, Fates returns the favor for what was the massacre a few rounds ago. X-Sync take 9. 4 rounds away. Espionage now on the back foot as they try and pedal back from this big financial loss. Wow.
Jo. Wow. I saw that it was through the side of the wall, but you just thought shoulder peak, something along those lines, right? That is a massive kill, because you posture the positioning there. Espionage, your player in that position is, you know, the turning point, the pivot between outside control and A main. That's a nasty, nasty duel to lose. Pistols, big green comes out.
What?
Talk about mixed bag, Ryan. This is all over the shot from Espionage.
Did you see that?
Yeah, just
Iceberg just spammed like 4 shots through the squeaky door and he's insta-dinked Watts.
I mean, look, you'll take those, especially in this kind of position where you've pretty much done everything you can. Lucky saving for that AWP, like I said, but probably hoping it would come under better circumstances. Util coming out, that's a very, very long smoke lineup to sort of miss heaven, drop towards the outside of ramp, perhaps. Put on a bit of pressure if they head in this direction. Lucky on the aggro, takes the head, Fates is down, and it's still that damaged player Waltz, which hangs on for now. I'm not a fan of that, though.
4v4 through the door goes Iceberg, who finds 2 quick headshots. Jo silenced by Quez's pistol as well. Eku 1v3, and it's all gone horribly wrong for the Estonian camp. Bomb at his feet, he will be able to pick it up. Mr. will see it's gone missing though. And now the search party will ensue. Drops down the vent. Cabby was already sat in secret. As soon as he swings open those double doors, they should know exactly what's going on. Bomb plant, tags, nearly denied, but not quite there. And Eku alive. Surely Cabby does not mess this one up. Eku slipped away. I mean, the fact that he's even got the money in the first place is a concern.
As soon as that smoke fades, Espionage are going to have an idea, but the fact that Eku hasn't gone on the wraparound until the molly comes in tells you he would be looking for something else, but already hearing the defuse getting stuck. Just has to give it up. It's a 10-second timer, Ryan, and the spam not quite enough to bring Mr. off it. Yeah, that's an incredibly weird round. Sure, I retract my statement on Lucky taking that following peak. It was all just set up foreplay to try and get the rest of Espionage in position. You see Iceberg here, 2, Quest follows it up. It was nice. They had an idea, they stuck to it. That was what I failed to notice in the moment, and I think, you know, the most important part about that action, that they do actually see it through. There's another gun by in front of them for now, though.
Was entirely preventable though from being lost. I don't know how X-Sync just folded to a couple of 5-7s. Got mid-round lobby crunched effectively. Oh my word, I thought Lucky was going to pull the trigger then. But all is well. 2 players slip down unnoticed by the overwatching eye that is Lucky.
Where's concedes ramp? Drops down to play from lower. Now Espionage just needs to be slightly concerned of whether someone moves towards heaven or not. But again, They just move one man over. Lucky's gone bottom ramp with the AWP. Already, EQ into lower. And yeah, this is due to outside. It's the reason for rotation. Cesar, here's those steps on the metallic plates beneath the feet. Xsync have decent positions, but I don't really see what they get out of this. You know, Espionage have them exactly where they want them.
Lucky, Mr. Cesar, all opening in the scorecards, but unfortunately left in another 1v4. Eku probably scratching his head, wondering why am I being left in these situations every time? Not fair. Our trades have been so poor. Does hit one on the exit. It's Iceberg that drops, but even then, Cabby pre-fires to make sure he cannot escape the grasp of the Espionage camp. 9-8. Fantastic job. Espionage's resurgence in the second half has been fantastic.
I think Espionage called the rotates perfectly there as well, Ryan. They understood, okay, we've lost control of outside. Quez drops one down. Lucky on the AWP is always going to be good for a hold ramp. And as I said, it felt like they had a lot of material on the map. They just couldn't make anything out of it. And sure, they can take down that Orpha with one duel, but there's immediately a player in position to be refragging it. Now pistols are the play. What's can make it through the squeak door?
Oh, wow. Speaking of, it's these pistols again. It's how the tide changed in the previous encounter, and it might just be the same here. At least Quez has held his nerve for one. What's jumping over the top? It's a double peek, and he doesn't know where to look. It's a second rifle forfeited, and it might even just be Lucky.
Yes,
he just chucked his orb towards Eku. He says thanks. Might even find a follow-up here, 3v2.
Wow, I don't know what's going on. It's Calamity Counter-Strike at its very best, and Fate punishes Mister. Of course he does. We had a feeling that this may happen. It was a lingering one, a subconscious one at that. Iceberg now, his impact could be all. Up to 5 kills. Down by double digits in terms of deaths, but you know, we know he's capable. And already has started to turn it around a little bit on the CT side. The wrap towards heaven could be great, so long as nobody keeps that position in post, but they're planting and they're setting, preparing for it.
We'll move basically where the hole in this defense is now for Xsync in hell. Doesn't decide to go up the ladder, instead will play patience. I don't know if he wants to go for a ninja. I don't know the scenario. You just know that right now it's bubbling up to be one hell of a first map. A massive recovery. Oh my, he's going for it. He's going for the ninja. Hurry, nobody's here to stop it. There's no way. Is there time?
They're all going to go down, though. They'll all go down to this bomb detonation, Ryan. I think that's the silver lining. Iceberg's managed to pull them all through. Sure, he won't walk away with the M4, but I don't think there's really a case to be built about what this next round looks like. Talk about doing more with less, though. Xsync, I don't know how they find value from these pistols once more. Mister just walks into it. Looks simple enough.
Oh, when he pulled off. He actually pulled off.
Spinning around so quickly, yeah.
Unlucky. I mean, there was about a second left when he did. I don't think he would have had the time to have fully defused, but it was damn close nonetheless, Harry. Way too close for the Xsync liking. And as you say, they throw all bodies at the problem. Everyone goes down. Everyone rebuys for this Xsync side. But at least they know now, well, they just invested everything in that last. It's time to focus on what's in front of us, and that is going to be an eco that we face against as Espionage come forward with 4 USPs and 1 Desert Eagle.
Xsync off the back of that thrifty conversion have, you know, really put themselves within striking distance of this map now, though, Ryan. And looking at the walkout on towards A, they've managed to sift between the lines. All of a sudden, the tidal wave emerges. But it's a clean shutdown, sure enough. Eku and Jayo combining to finish the job. And now 2 rounds is all that separates them from a first map win, which would feel like a serious landmark in this series, in this competition, in Espionage's life cycle as of current.
Well, when you look at the middle left-hand side of your screen, just above all the players, you can see exactly why it means so much. When this is the pick of Espionage, there should be no way X-Sync find a way in, especially when we were saying how much this veto favors them. They are a good team, a very strong team, yet still fumbling. I would argue the easiest game of the lot. They should be smashing these boys. Instead, X-Sync just come out the gate swinging.
X-Sync currently stand upon hallowed ground, but it's for Espionage that we usually expect. Finally, they go through the motions. Cesar's here. Lucky knows it. In the back of his mind, it's that thought which eats him alive. You saw him check it. He heard the drop. The information was there, yet still a 2 versus 3 when all is said and done. The Estonians aren't through it just yet. The timing is all, and Watts hasn't even cleared Mister in the corner. They've almost had the chance to get the better of one another, but it's Mister that walks away unscathed. Now Eku. It's a familiar feeling. No bomb, no fights given. Not much time to do it with either.
Dead silence, 30 seconds left. What can you do? As you say, it's Eku left in another 1vx scenario. And he only finds the reverse. No forward gears here, Harry. It makes sense for Eku to back up. Espionage chipping away at the scoreline that X-Sync have built up. It is now 11-9. A 2-round game between them, and as you say, a 2-round game between X-Sync and taking us to a second with the Espionage pick in their back pocket.
This one's going to go all the way down to the wire. In the way that X-Sync started, gave you that feeling that they were in it to win it. It still proves to be the case. That fight, honestly, it's this one here. Mister against Watts, which is honestly the difference in this round. They've still got legs this T side, and they will continue to run towards their destination as long as they can carry them. It's turned into a bit more of a crawl now. This Espionage are raring and ready to go. It's tortoise in the hair type stuff in the latter stages of this game.
Good molly. It's going to give them little to no time to escape into safety at Secret. And the nade certainly is going to cause problems. That is a fantastic piece of work from Espionage. The choreography is there. Nade alongside the swing, Cabby, Shaw, sideline, but for the price of 2, that is a trade that Espionage are more than willing to take. Cesar on a Galil, Fates on an AK, Watts on a Tech 9, and they have to fight 3 against 4.
Not a position you want to try and fight back from, but they will give it every last ounce of their fiber. Still, bomb in hand. It's a little bit separated, segregated from the rest. Cesar's just hoping that someone on Espionage's side will peek out through the stairs of Secret, but doesn't look as if that's going to happen anytime soon.
Delaying the inevitable, it feels like at this point. Nicely done from Quez. Will find another. X-Sync to just try and react as best as they can, but it is not happening under the Espionage watch. Double digits, maybe.
Yeah, Cesar's got to be careful that he doesn't go down after time here. There's a player in close proximity, Lucky, just above his head. Mister on A site, tucked in the corner. Won't be taking that peek anytime soon. Within 1 now, and honestly, This has the full 24 written all over it, Ryan. It really does. I fail to see a world where this round is finished for Xsync with anything left to spare. Espionage are right at their throats.
One round in it. This one an eco for Xsync, a bit of a throwaway, a gimmick as we like to say. A chance for this Espionage side to really set in stone their presence. But again, without problems, Jo drops down. First part was silent, second part as loud as you like, but Cabby didn't see him cross. Luckily, there's a main player to help out.
Yeah, it takes ever so slightly different pathing there, and you can avoid the fight on Mister. Maybe Cabby caught out. Not this time, though. He knows exactly what's going on. Decent damage dealt. Quez has lived to tell the tale, though, and that allows Cabby to make his introduction yet again. And just as I foretold, we are going to the very extent of play that Nuke has to offer, but Xsync haven't made these easy. I mean, even with pistols, there is something to be said of them in these rounds. Unbelievable from Mister on some of this spam, though. And yeah, Cabby is almost expected in rounds like this.
Tie game, and this is it for Xsync. Got to deliver here, because if they don't, well, problems start to arise. It's going to be in the hands of Quez. He's got so much work to do, and I'm loving this discipline. Drop away, play for my life. Sure, you can have the ramp control, but I'm more focused on holding down the sights. Lucky, the repeat is ballsy. And a play-up ladder has just found a kill. 2v4, Xsync have just burst onto the A site.
Oh, Espionage.
What is
Had
this?
them in a chokehold, Ryan. There were 3 players to deal with the ramp transition into ladder, heaven, A-plant. Check boxes the whole way along, but they are left empty. And it's a stinking feeling now, which Espionage will be forced to sit with. Org, A1S, they can keep him. But there's one more round now. It's a 2-round shootout as to who wins this first map. And honestly, who I'd say is the best horse in the running to be taking the series when you think about Anubis.
To be honest, I'm trying to think of the loss bonus right now for Espionage. If I'm not mistaken, they are on like 1 or 2. Look at the money. First stage loss.
Iceberg
Cabby, 1,700. Iceberg, 1,500. Gonna have to get a drop out of Quez. One of them's gonna have to take some sort of SMG or Deagle or downgrade at least. That's the kill I was on about. Watts leaping up the ladder is such a ballsy maneuver. Should never have gone his way. But the fact that it does gives Xsync the 12th, and in turn gives them a prime opportunity to make 13. Iceberg on an MP9 as the rest of the squad put every penny they can into regulation. Last round of it, 24 out of 24.
It's rounds like that that you lose, and it's fine margins. Espionage won't want to be too harsh on themselves, but they're only in this position because it's no less than what they deserve. Think about you put all of that behind you now. It's Xsync on the charge. They are walking down into Secret. It's already 3 players here. Espionage will know that that gap has been crossed. But do they have any idea how many lay in wait? Quez in rotation. A lot of work on his plate.
I know about it now. 1-for-1 trade. Lucky's AWP on ramp. Getting ready to post. Clearing angle by angle. I'm not sure if the gun barrel's been spotted, but he'll nail the shot onto Jo. Single door swung open. That's got to be a kill for Iceberg. At least Lucky's there for another, but Fates' AWP returns. 2v2. All chips to the middle of the felt for both teams.
Worst part about this is the bomb is in such an open position just before the smoke lands and plumes. Fates has the kill, which could have finished this one. It could be a settled fate on map number 1 of Nuke. Door closed, Cabby forced to interact. Position again and a flick from Fates is fatal. 13-11, Xsync will do it. A laboured and long affair, but one which they take home.
future ventilation on demand. How about that? future of roofing, how can this little box be it?
Well, as many IoT things, it's not the physical chip or card that looks spectacular, but what it can do. This is what you put into your roof, allowing you to check the health of your construction while scrolling your phone. It calculates the absolute humidity of the outside air and the constructions, then sends this info to a roof fan.
This box gives you automatic ventilation on demand. How about that?
Welcome in, ladies and gents. We are back. Short break, Harry, but a second on the rise. To be honest, a wacky first map. I don't think there's any word to describe really other than wacky. What we just saw unfold. Nuke was a bit of a catastrophe for the boys over at Espionage. They lose out on their pick 13-11. Xsync, with a map in hand, now get their selection of Anubis next to see if they can close this in two.
And Anubis naturally would feel like a weird choice for most people who, coming into this competition, had high hopes of Espionage. As I said before, they're starting to get to a position in the HLTV rankings where they've cropped up a couple of times. 38 is the big number in your head. They've reached it twice, like I said before. November 22, August 23. Are we going to see them match it and maybe even outperform it? They were on a decent trajectory for it, but when you look at some of the matches they've had recently, it's been a little few and far between. And push the full extent of this one, 24 rounds, it was still enough for Xsync to pull it out the bag. And, you know, for a moment there, I thought we were going to see the full turnaround, but we didn't. And now we go into Anubis, a place which historically they've looked good. But I tell you what, I mean, when you actually look at the stats, it's not been the best recently.
Well, you say historically good on it. That was the exact same situation that we saw out on Nuke, right? Anubis was a map that we saw, that we see in very similar standings as Nuke, where Espionage, high win rate, haven't played it as much as Xsync, to be fair, but the Espionage boys have had a decent track record. Exact same scenario as Nuke, they lost Nuke. So what's not to say that this can be done in two, and Espionage's woes continue here in the contenders stage. It would be a disappointing way to see them drop down to the 1 and 2 bracket. As you said, after a massive recovery in that second half, we thought really it was going to go the distance, but yeah, it wasn't meant to be. I mean, looking at the scoreboards, not naming names, but one player going 6 and 20 was not ideal. For the Xsync side, only Eku was in the negative, right? Everyone else dropped a positive KD. A fantastic job all around for everyone involved in that Xsync camp. But of course, we are now here for our second. Espionage on the CT side desperately need this selection to go their way.
That we do. And I tell you what, for the fact that it's, you know, not their side choice that they would start, it's not the worst, but it may get off to a difficult opener. Fates has found the first, of course. Lucky addressing that issue by picking up one himself on the B site defense, but Bomb's going to go down. They know where the rest are coming from. It's Beretta's in hand for once, and will make an absolute mess out of these remaining players in the fact that it's their blood which plasters the walls.
Tap it away, but Lucky can't get anything done. Fates with a fantastic round. That first shot that Fates presents, by the way, just as you picked up, one tap, literally one bullet out of the P250. Bang, good night. See you later, Quez. And then from here, as you say, they knew. Saw 3 players, dualies drawn, ready to go. And Kavi, one of 3 players that was suffered to the consequence. Nice shots out of Fates. He's unbelievable with a P250. That was 3 bullet shot, 2 kills. Yeah. That's not a bad track record to have with a pistol.
About him being at the crux of the 2 eco pistol rounds that were actually won out by Xsync in the previous map. An X factor, I guess you could say, to which Espionage had no response. They'll force up here themselves, and it is just the one SMG in the hands of Lucky, which we're seeing, but 4 out of those 5 players will be in middle. Pretty isolated instance when you look at Eku elsewhere. This guy just loves to play away from the rest of the pack. He's doing a great Blame F impression.
On plant. Nice shot out of Mister, but of course, this round you feel like is already said and done, especially when the bomb settled in place and with the site under heavy guard. Can afford to give away 1 Mac 10, but for the rest of these rifles, especially when there's 3 AKs, I think it's safe to say You want these to be kept. No giving these away as a charitable cause to espionage. Hold on, keep them yourself. Move forward with these and treat it more as a bonus.
Iceberg struggling to sit still. So
I'd like that, to be fair.
free fire in there. I mean, if it works, then accusations to get thrown around.
Yeah. He's cheating. He's
Not
cheating.
right now. I've seen too many a Go TV video clip on my Twitter feed in of recent times, Ryan. I think it's best we move past that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I say Go TV. Is it still called Go TV in CS2?
It's called CS2 now.
Right. I've not used the demo player. I'm happy to hold my hands up here and say it.
Yeah, it's a CS2.
It'll always be
Dunno.
Go TV for me.
In our hearts.
Yeah. I don't know. What's something that's changed names that you're still holding on to? I've already said Twitter in the previous sentence.
Yeah, I think that's about the main one. Trying to think if there's like any other funny, cool ones that I always hold in my heart despite the name change.
My lord.
Wait, what?
Yeah, wow. Lots of util damage. And
3v4.
like body blocked by his teammate there, I think. Mister also caught in amongst it. Quez the one that goes down. 3 versus 4. And Espionage have stacked towards A. It's a gamble which doesn't look to pay off anytime soon, but I like that they're being a little proactive with this, having lost mid, playing off the timing, just saying to themselves, okay, is there going to be anyone canals? Can we take this much further? And they'll be in a much better position for this retake if and when it can happen. Iceberg down though.
Now all 3 players are coming from the same spot. Watts is just spamming away. No smoke means they are in broad daylight and the cover is nowhere near good enough. Watts is double, in fact 3 in the round. Silencing Espionage's attempt at the eco, of course, full buy into round 4. But already the Estonian stack looking good out of the gates here on Anubis.
They look good to start, but the caveat for me, in the same way that Nuke is a biased map, you really don't feel fully comfortable until you see them hit, like, you know, 7-8 rounds, something like that.
Agreed.
And sure, it's their selection. We know Espionage are capable of putting in a shift here. No, it's not been a banker for them. Their account of map wins has drawn empty in recent history, and Caseza decapitates Cabby for what makes a great opener, but Iceberg equal to it. Very nice kill for himself. Both just 1v1s taken, honestly, Ryan. Not the first time that we've seen that happen in this game, but I think Xsync, that's the kind of CS they want to be playing. They want to drag Espionage down to their level because they feel that much more confident in these kinds of engagements.
Nothing but shoulder being shown from Caseza, having a look towards water. Util being lined up by Fates. It's going to simulate a B, playing with the vast majority of players going through the water, through dark and out towards the site. That is indeed the case, and 2 quick kills from Mister will be the be-all and end-all of this round, especially when he hits the 3rd headshot. Jumping across goes Fates, already tagged up. Expecting the AWP to swing. Lucky fires through, just slightly too far away from Fates' body, but he does clap back for 1, but he emerges back through. Iceberg on a lethal flank will put the first on the board for Espionage.
Yeah, it's nice to see Iceberg get off to a good start on this map as well after a very difficult performance for him on Nuke. And you even look at what his trail left behind is in this round, a bloody one. Peeks into B main and then just wraps all the way through middle and gives the info to the rest of his team. Hence, on the pre-fire, no expectation there of a player on his angle. And Another gun round, though. Straight back into it. Nose at the grindstone. Xsync need to be careful that the rounds don't come at them too quickly, or they could be in for trouble. Mister, I like this walk up, but it does get punished, and there's no follow-up, unfortunately enough for him.
What's he done? Nade landing at the feet of EQ. Still got to be careful here.
Crazy from Iceberg. He's doing it
Iceberg
again.
is so he flashed himself, or like the team setup was not there. Miscommunication has just cost the second man. This time the aggression towards B is penalized, not one to capitalize.
I don't even feel like the flash was that terrible, or like the idea at a base level, the notion. It's just not cleared enough deep, and you are taking inherent risks by going for those fights. And while it is a positive to see that Iceberg wants more of these duels now, Molly coming out, Lucky is lucky enough not to get caught on a timing there, as a fight has been won elsewhere, which opens the floodgates to the empty A bathhouse. Should be a bomb plant, and Espionage calling in the save bright and early.
Lucky Quez far away from the point of impact. Saw that the A site was under threat. Well, we're going to cower on B. And find a way to get out with our guns. Then again, I mean, not really being circled, but there is going to be some pressure soon. Eku moving through towards spawn. Jayo's coming through mid. I'd be scared if I was the Espionage boys right now. Not that they'd know it just yet. But man, this is going to be a painful one, because I don't think either player will be able to exit.
Doesn't look to be the case. The first already routed out. Lucky click of the scope, they hear it. And Jayo frisks for both players. Finds everything that they would have wanted. Xsync bathing in the newfound riches of their impoverished opponents. Flash wide of the mark. Nice turn from Jayo there as well. Honestly, the whole round really just does come down to him. Open to close, ashes to ashes. That's exactly the kind of start that Xsync would have been after.
Deegs now for the Espionage side. At least the majority of these players holding those hand cannons. Nothing too serious. Hold up. And the upgrades. Fates, on the other hand. Quite a big upgrade in his hands. An AWP flies straight through the heart of Cabby. Opening frag and a second as Caseza just beating him to the punchline. What spots the main aggression as well. Dalil against these pistols. Even if he gives it away, it's not the end of the world. It's not a premium rifle. And the AWP there to collect.
I tell you what, Ryan, I have been thoroughly impressed with Fate's AWP so far in this series. Didn't get too much of a look in of it on the first map, but when it was prevalent, you saw it in the kill feed. And on the attack side here of Anubis, with some of the longer angles that you see through middle as well, they're finding ways to implement it with value. Nice shot, quick adjustment on Lucky, high velocity on the peak. There, yeah, again, a little bit of a mid question here. Espionage tried to fight it on a couple of occasions. I think a little bit unlucky that we see a tick of damage caught there to give up audio. Otherwise, it's on these sites where we've not really had like a full 5-player execute come in. Xsync are just waiting for their moment, and they may have just found it. Caseza already opening up.
And look at this, it's just so much aggression. Even in B, they're fighting for control. A main, they've just taken presence of. Opening kill was the mid push.
Yeah.
And Caseza has pushed his back right up against this wall towards the window room. 2 players going to re-clear, and Caseza swings on the right timing. He'll find something, and I mean, an extra kill is always welcomed for Xsync. 4v3.
Not an issue now either, because Espionage really have to commit more bodies towards one side of the map. They spread themselves thinner. And as you put it, I think here, the Estonians have a perfect game plan on what exactly it is Espionage are trying to do. Looking for fights consistently. It's Iceberg on this occasion, but he really shouldn't be walking away with 2 there. Punishment not coming through. Vates catching all of the damage from the HE as well. Now Watts has to live a little longer to allow his teammate back in. Shan't be happening. Bomb collected as a bare minimum. 20 seconds you can pivot to B. A is the nearer and the easiest option of the 2. If you consider a healthy Quez an easy task to surmount.
Making noise, drops down, punches in those digits. Quez runs right at him. And there you have it, second on the board for Espionage. No problems at all.
Such a weird one to try and call. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Says has already done all the work he needs to here. And fighting back through, honestly, it's a good read, a good idea from Espionage. But the fact that even an additional kill is picked up is great. In the late round, I don't think they really had the opening that they wanted anymore. Xing, that value goes cold. Yet still plenty of finance to fall on. They just need to stop Espionage from getting those couple more rounds before they do.
Well, I mean, not the ideal start. 2 for the price of 1. Espionage more active in the early. Getting these trades, showing what's up.
You have to be expecting something like this from Iceberg. I don't think the deep clear is going to be checked. I mean, Echo moves his crosshair more towards that side, but still didn't fully believe in the idea that he would be there. 4 versus 2, and as you put it, like, it's just the opening to this round which makes all the difference. Cabby cornered, traded out, but that 1-for-1 in the middle of the map transpires to be a lot worse than just on the face of it.
.40 seconds left. Double push towards A main. That is a nice shot from Fates, but the problem is Lucky might get overseen. Jo. Oh, it's the reaction shot, 2v2. And both players on the other side of the map. Molly in, smoke lands on top. Fates isn't being held. Mister just charges right through. And Jo, 20 points of health. Now has to do it all with his AWP. And unfortunately, 1 bullet the difference. A very nice reaction from Mister. A ballsy one, I must admit. Running through there is a crazy maneuver to make. But that has been the story of this entire round. Early push towards A, middle of the round, push towards B, late round, re-aggress towards A main. It was all a bit chaotic from Espionage, this play in particular. FaZe just thought, oh, it's fine, but as soon as Jo lobs out a smoke to land on top of that molly, it's going to give Mister the idea to push through anyway, and yeah, it completely cost him the round.
Ballsy yet bullish from Mister, and I think this is the kind of authority which Espionage were missing on the previous map. Peak coming out from Iceberg though, and I'm starting to get to the point with his aggression that it may just be a little heretical. And for someone who struggled so much map 1, I don't know if the call on the Espionage side is just, mate, run it down and see how much you can get, because right now it's here and there, it's everywhere if you're Xing. They have the full map's worth of control. Just now waiting to plant that bomb on the B site.
Pistols for 2 of these players still.
Watts needs to be quick.
Yeah. Oh, but no, it's not going to happen that way. Jo just keeps swinging. 1v2 for Quez. As I said, the last 2 remaining players both on pistols. Smoke goes in. Has a look for the bomb. The flank is still there. Let's not forget Watts. Should just peek round the corner. Tech 9, easy does it. AK's AWPs scooped up and a 6th on the board for Xing, but that gets worrying.
It does.
That really does when Jo starts swinging.
It does. And look, from a set of multiple choices in the end, Quez can't guess correctly, but I mean, yeah, you look at these clean entries. This has got to be, a peak punished is what it ends up becoming. That kill on Takabi is massive, though, with the damage that Echo had already dealt, because it just means that it's so difficult for the sum of Espionage's parts to get anything done from that kind of position. And look, I was worried with what's on the flank that he would arrive a little late to the party once everything was going down on the B site. But 6 rounds and up against a full save, a hard eco. You don't want to count your chickens before they've hatched. But, nice shot fakes on the way out. The fadeaway. You should get a few more opportunities here with deeper lines of cover. Is that a headshot from a teammate? I'm not too sure what we're getting. Yeah. It's not looking great. I think it'll be good enough either way, but hey, that's really not ideal. Not ideal at all, Ryan.
Wow, man, that's a costly round. Considering it was pistols, it's a good result for Espionage. So much problem in terms of, or so many problems, I should say. So much problems. No, so many in terms of them aggressing and then people lining up. You were mentioning the AWP Fates getting in the way of one of the riflers, which meant the whole spray control was off. The end of that round, they get away with 2 players, combined sub 50 HP. I mean, sure, it's another round on the board, but it's difficult.
You've just turned into the Doge there for a second, mate. So many players, much pistol, you know?
Yeah, many wow.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, man. I feel like Doge is a lost artifact in terms of meme culture. Like, I think you and me, I don't want to stress the specifics here, but that will be lost on quite a few people, which is crazy to me. I'm getting old, man. It's actually sad. Here we are, another round. This one's still just as new and exciting as it was on Nuke. I think Xsync are really giving us a game. But they're leaving just the amount of right amount of trolling in there to make it entertaining at the same time. And Watts, nice opening pick, immediately refragged. 2 deaths in A main to start.
Question is where do they go? A has just been so synonymous with this T side of Xsync. Cesar looking for the same. Spray is okay for Cabby. 1 and a bit is very fine in this position. They need the trades and fast, and well, now all on the AWP of Fates. Wanders in through A main, so much to do in front of him.
Fates, this is just not going to be enough. AWP lost, and look, Espionage hitting 4 rounds at this stage in the game. I mean, Fates would have been the cash cow there. 8K he had to dispense on his teammates. It's another AWP purchased, and look, while it's been good, and you can see it, Paramount played here, may not be good enough to get them any more than 7 rounds. And I've got to say, Ryan, that doesn't feel like the best of outcomes when you consider how they started.
Yeah, definitely a different picture at the start of this map compared to the end.
Half the tally inside the first 4 or 5.
And it really has fallen off a cliff. If they can at least win this last round, 8-4, you know, make it everybody's business still to win this game, then fair enough. But if Espionage take a 5th, I wonder how insignificant the pistol is, no matter even if it goes in favor of Xsync compared to what it could have been.
Yeah, quick little info gathering mission. Iceberg and Mister and Dark. This is where they then begin to channel that as aggression out main. It's a similar situation to what we've seen before. It's usually Iceberg at the forefront of it, but Mister has introduced their name to an age-old conversation, a debate, which gets one final jab in before the half concludes. Quez, the first on the A defense, and maybe the last. Spam is decent. Jo already dropped to half HP and then some. 7-5. Xsync, sure, they win the half, but it's nowhere near as good as it could have been. And it's that what if that may come back to bite them.
Scary. Can't believe how much this has turned on its head. Espionage putting the afterburners on, it seems. I mean, there I can see in particular the flashbang thrown in A main was not good. I think it bounced off a pixel of something, came right back towards the A main players, didn't blind anyone on sight. Espionage now with the T-side pistol to completely level up this gap.
mean, T-pistol here, and the dynamic very different, I think. You look at Nuke, how much they were able to do there. Fate's early kill Quez is very nice. Espionage will know that or B main, I should say, is not space they have access to anymore. And when you were trying to go for this split push and it only now being Cabby there, who again goes checked, damage Eku this time. Cesar's the one that takes down that first name on the list. It is Cabby gone. Not Cabby, I should say. Lucky dealing damage to both friend and foe. Still a 3 versus 2, but it's not quick enough to get them out on site in time. The bomb's gone down, and so is Watts in the process.
How has this turned so pear-shaped? It's such an easy round to close. They had the numbers game. Lucky's 3K is such a significance. Espionage now up to 6. And X-Sync, after battling what felt like a war for all eternity on Nuke, are now going to have the same problems in this second map as well. Problem is, on Nuke, I had the confidence that they could close out. I still knew that they were a team that could take rounds. Problem is, here on Anubis, it's been some time since I've thought that about X-Sync. The start of the game was so promising, but since then, it has been the Espionage show.
It really has. And like, again, when you have those duels in main, when it's just one guy, it's only Cabby there, I think they need to find a way to put a bit more pressure on and set up more meaningful crossfires. But hey, not the be-all and end-all. It's going to be a full save here. You've got to be looking at 4 MAC-10s, which will be aiming to maximize the benefit that they get. One of which is Cabby, but overwhelmed by 4 CTs. That will be spotted and relayed back to the rest of his team.
Nicely done. MAC-10 making money. Feeding. The money printer just continues for Mister as he fights for. On for the ace. I know it's against an eco, but that is maximum money received. The MAC-10, $1,050 in weaponry, has just printed 3K into his bank account. No complaints at all as the CT side offer up the maximum for Espionage.
Mister's got his mantra, right? That money's already been printed. It's yours to go out and get. He plays chase, and 5 separate kills found all across the map. X-Sync just split up from one another after they'd taken down Cabby. It didn't feel like they had the strength in numbers anymore there, which, sure, it's like a half chance at best, but even then, a bit sporadically played, and there is more MAC-10 menacing to be going on before Eku can shut it down for good. That being said, there's still 2 left in play.
Minute 15. Still time left for Espionage to pick a site and go for it. Especially when they know that they cleared one out towards B main. I think the choice is theirs. They can pick the poison. B makes the most logical sense. Iceberg runs out insta-dink onto Eku. 33 health is all that he's left with, battling between the sides of the pillar. And Mister, eventually the blocker to this B site hold. Jo smoked off. 3v3 retake now, and Espionage locking in the plant in the meantime.
No kit, Ryan. I think that's going to be the difference which forces them to either give this up or certainly rethink it. Jo takes so long on this rotate to get in a position where he can support Watts. Yeah, I just call the save now. Save us the waiting. Instead, guns given over, and Espionage, the lead will be theirs. That is a certainty now, and it could look even worse if Jo weren't able to find a kill on Cabby, which he will. No upgrades, that is all she wrote.
Espionage lead. My word. Who would have thought that? You look at the round history here, Harry. do believe it pops up in the middle of your screens after the replays, and you can have a little gander at how this one started. 5-1 ahead Xsync. They were indeed storming ahead of that curve. 7-3 in favor of Xsync, and now Espionage, just a hot streak of rounds between both halves as well, and it is giving them a 1 in a million chance to deliver us to a third. Mirage our decider there if we need it. Right now, I'd still argue it's a bit of a coin toss, but with how Xsync have been performing, I'd be quite concerned.
Watts has spotted the AWP, but takes the peak anyway. I'm not too sure about that one. Jayo's got to be that 1 in a million man. Feet planted at the base of the bathhouse. An A defense left to his own devices and can't conjure up more. Or anything even than a single kill there. It's damage HE. Kill isn't the name of the game, and the Deegs are dishing out damage themselves. It's brought an AK back into play. They'll bounce on the flash, but catches his teammate in the process. Oh, Kaseza nails a shot. Still a 2 versus 2, but it's all on this AK. If it finds that kill, it should be the round done. Fates is incredibly low. Has a nade, but it's a pixel peak that puts it out of his hands. 9-7 Espionage.
Tell you what though, Xsync, considering they kept a fair chunk of cash in their back pockets for the future of their time here on Anubis, that is a great deal of damage done to the Espionage economy. Problem is, when you let them get away with as many rounds as they have so far, it's going to be quite the insignificant amount in the grand scheme of things. We'll cut back from this and you'll see what I'm talking about. Espionage are still going to have cash to work with heading into this one, and I mean, plenty of it. There is even enough on Lucky to drop 2 AKs in the next round, should they lose out on everything here. But of course, Xsync with an investment of their own, hoping they can turn the tide. And that nade, as you say, is massive. Iceberg and Quez eating lead.
That's going to be awesome to just soften these players up. Put through the tenderizer. Fate's still with a $1 million blow to land, and he'll do it. Iceberg gone. Cracking the whip for the second time. Nothing connecting. Just wind in the air. Cabby is that late play through middle, and pretty imperative as to how Espionage function here. Not least in picking up the pieces. Watts has lost out early in that engagement. Mister wants to swing and kill him. Instead finds the frag through the smoke. Awesome stuff. Cabby is down though now, so all focus can be placed on the remaining players. And oh my God, Ryan, they are decimated.
That's more like it from Xsync. That's the confidence boost that they wanted. Damage in the last, massive fragging in this one. Look at the money for that T side. It's not going to be healthy. I mean, you'll see here, it doesn't get off to a bad start for Espionage. At one point, they do actually have some grip of sight, but it's like 3 kills within 2 seconds, and that's enough. Espionage's lead cut in half. It's now 9-8, and they are going to press the panic button and force once again. And it makes sense, because they are on single loss at the end of the day. They'll have to take an eco in the next no matter what. So you might as well try and get the best here and cut Xsync's momentum out before it really starts.
I don't hate it either. I think, you know, it only takes 1 round to completely shift the balance of this Xsync's defense as well. And I mean, you even look at it there. Watts takes an early fight. That bomb is starting to be couriered towards the A site. Quez plays keep away. Here's the steps. Can now activate a lurk. Espionage aren't fully sold on the idea, though. They're trying to bait out rotates, which will come for them. This is an expertly played round from a macro perspective. Quez is going to such a dangerous position, and Eku's none the wiser.
It's just such an over-rotation for Xsync for no reason. You can leave the retake A. I don't know what's been called, but in that situation, Eku either needs to play passive and you play retake B, or you only leave 1 player on A and play retake A. You can't be afforded to go for aggressive moves like that, because you just get caught out, and now Xsync will suffer the consequences. This has to be a save. There's no way they can go for this.
Yeah, I mean, both Watts and Eku low on money. Certainly making an attempt, and this flash prepared with Kaseza getting ready to profit off it. Hasn't blinded anyone. That's when the dismissal is made. And for what it's worth, I respect the fact that they were looking to try and find at least a little lifeline there. But as you put it, the expected outcome is another round defeat. So Espionage will finally be made double digits after getting denied at the first opportunity.
Terrorists win.
Fantastic job. Espionage. I like that, the double push towards A main early. This is the play I'm on about. Eku is deep B, and they're playing double A, which means he has to be solo. He knows that he's solo. Someone would have called that to him, and instead, he sticks around for way too long. Gets caught out. And, well, presented the end of his life swiftly as Xsync now back down, trailing by 2. Another full buy for them to see if they can form some cracks in the Espionage economy.
Xsync still in it for now. Jo has been at the forefront throughout this game. Put it in the head-to-head, more for experience than anything else. Looking for the clear second guest. Jo makes the most of that maximum punishment. A triple kill that he takes. Plenty more to follow in his wake. What's with that one onto Mr. puts Lucky in a compromised situation. AWP discarded for an AK. Little pocket to plant the bomb. A 1 versus 4, no matter the situation, and a missed shot from Watts has revealed at least one position. Needs the double, gets it. Hang on a moment, Ryan. Watts here is low, and while Bogdan's Law will keep it in a little longer, the HE missed is an opportunity gone. Molly coming out. Knows all about fates, but drawn down to a pistol. That's when we finally reach our conclusion.
Fair enough.
Sweat
Fair
off the
enough.
brow, man. Sweat off the brow.
Lucky doing way too much. This, you can never, ever afford to half-check that angle. Iceberg basically just swooshes